On January 29, a commercial plane collided with a military helicopter in America, resulting in 67 fatalities. On June 12th this year, an Indian airliner crashed, resulting in 241 fatalities. Dear Kenyans, do you know that captains will always warn or pass the message to passengers to tell them that either there are turbulences and they should brace themselves, or even the sad news or information that there is such a serious mechanical problem that the captain would do their best, perhaps just to crash land. It's like a duty they have. They would inform you there's engine failure. The second engine has picked up, but it's also not doing well. In other words, the captain is telling the passengers things are bad. The passengers on board react differently. There are those who may just collapse in shock before the plane crash. There are those who scream. There are those who are steady. Like Margaret Thatcher once said, he was asked a question, and he said, this is not hypothetical. I can't remember what it was. And she said, you are flying over the Atlantic, and the captain says, the plane is going to crash. There's nothing you can do. So there are those who, like Margaret Thatcher, will be steady. Some will find a way of communicating with loved ones. Sometimes at high altitude, phones can work, or at least Wi-Fi, or leave a message at some point when your phone will interact with the network. If that happens, you will have left a message to loved ones. A good number go into prayer, committing their lives to the Lord and praying for those they leave behind. Today is a sad day. It is sad that as a country, we are that plane. And we are the passengers in that plane. I have the sad responsibility of the captain to inform you that our plane has developed serious mechanical problems. Luckily for us, there is still hope. But every passenger on board, the captain and the crew, each one of them must play a critical role that is necessary to save the plane from crashing. But make no mistake, the plane called Kenya has developed serious mechanical problems. We rarely have survivors. In the Indian case, we had one survivor, the man who must be thanking his God. I remember when I was young, there used to be a riddle that a plane has crashed between Kenya and Uganda in what is referred to as no man's land. Then you would be asked, where our survivors rushed or something like that, Uganda or Kenya. Some will say Uganda, some will say Kenya. Clever ones will say, no, Kenyans will be brought to Kenya. But then the answer will amaze you. The answer always was, there will be no survivors. It was a plane crash. Fellow Kenyans, that is a sad reality. This plane called Kenya has developed a serious mechanical problem. When it goes down, and it was overflying the Atlantic, so that there will be no survivors. This reality must inform our conduct as Kenyans. Whether we are leaders or whether we are the led, whether we are the president or we are the ministers or we are the members of parliament, this plane called Kenya has developed a serious mechanical problem. God in His grace has offered a small window of hope that if we all work together, if all hands are on deck, we shall save the plane from crashing. That is a sad reality. If anybody tells you otherwise, they are lying to you. Please don't listen to them. Countries have gone down irreparably for less than what we are going through. The words, the incitement that brought Rwanda down were nowhere near what we are going through in this country today. The role of the media in bringing certain countries down cannot be matched by the collective Kenya media. And by media, I don't mean media, I mean we Kenyans. Anybody with a mouth, anybody with a pen, anybody with a keyboard. All of us, we are media. I use my media today not to support a side, not to incite, not to rebuke, not to insult, but to tell us Kenyans, you are about to lose your country. In fact, dear Kenyans, it's a surprise that you have not lost this country. If you look at history and see the stages that a country goes through before the country goes down, we are long past the critical stage. We have messed the constitutional order. And this constitutional order that allows us to exist as a free people, as a democracy, free from dictatorship, free from military rule, this constitutional order is being breached by all of us. Do not get surprised, therefore, when you wake up one day and you have no country. The plane will have crashed. The events of the past week or so leave me in no doubt that the level of recklessness in this country cannot save a country. The ignorance from our leaders. A leader speaks and you wonder whether they live in this country. The determination from those in government to ignore the voices of the people is dangerous for this country. The determination of the leaders to remain in power at all costs is not sustainable. Those determined to remove government from power are so determined that for them anything goes. Simple question that could be answered by your granddaughter who is not even in school. If you remain in power and the plane has crashed, who will you be governing? If you took over power from Ruto and the plane has crashed, who will you be governing? There must be a Kenya for somebody to govern. To fight over leadership to the point that you will destroy the country is to be foolish. And forgive me for using that word in reference to people I should be respecting. We have all been told, time without numbers, they say, that Kenya is bigger than all of us. That we are here today and tomorrow we are not there, but Kenya remains. We have been told power is temporal, transient. The late Gigi Karaoke, in his autobiography, talks of power being illusionary, the illusion of power. That is his autobiography. That you are in power and you think you are a god. You are not a god. In Greek mythology, I think it's Greek mythology. If I'm wrong, Baraka Muluka should correct me. There is a king, I think, who employed somebody always to sit next to him and whisper in his ear, "You are not a god. You are not a god." Because the temptation to believe you are a god when you are in leadership is very high. To the Murkomens of this country, Google the preachings of a guest preacher during one of the prayer breakfast meetings during the reign of Uhuru Kenyatta. A guy from the UK, it's easy to find that, one of the prayer meetings. A man who had been a cabinet minister, but he had also been a jailbird. He had been jailed. He had served a prison term and seen the Lord and began preaching and advising leaders. And in that prayer breakfast meeting, I think the usual Safari Park, he narrated his own case, that he was a cabinet minister. He began transgressions, doing wrong things. People talk about the wrongs he will ignore. And he continued and continued until, as he put it, impunity set in. At that point, he believed he was like a god. And the rest, like they say, is history. He was finally jailed. My advice to the leaders, please be aware of the dictator's trap. Please be like Jonathan Goodluck, who lost because, like he said, he didn't want to take the presidency, riding on people's lives, the blood of Nigerians. Or like Mahama, the current president, who lost in Ghana. And he put word out there that has been in circulation, that had he listened to the right people and not the sycophants around him, he would not have lost that election. I advise the leaders, you are a mortal, you are human. And that power is temporal. Today it is you, tomorrow it will be somebody else. Protect your power and your leadership, but through means that are acceptable. To those who want to take over leadership from William Ruto, remember there must be a country. So whatever you do, in whatever way you do it, remember that you can only take over from Ruto to lead a country, not the ruins of what was once called Kenya. Let this be a souvenir video, and perhaps my last video. It's getting to a point where it's difficult, first, to be a Kenyan, and secondly, to routinely talk about these things, watching the plane crashing, and grown-up men and women refuse to see the obvious. For those in power, the signs are all over, written on the wall. Like Kindiki talked about, do whatever, and look at the wall in Parliament. The wall is full of signs. History will give you the information you need to know. And to the Greeks again, before the gods destroy you, they first make you mad. That's the Greeks of ancient times. Make sure if you are in power, you are not mad. Charlie Pride, in his famous song, pride comes before a fall. All this come to play, and I use them to inform my leaders, because they are my leaders. Leaders of this country I love. Avoid situations that will destroy this country. Let it not be written in history books that a beautiful country called Kenya went to ruins during the reign of William Samoei Arap Ruto. That the beautiful country called Kenya went to ruins when opposition leaders Gachagua, Maraga, Matiang'i, Wamalwa na Tembea, Kalonzo were struggling to become leaders. Do not disturb the peace of your grandchildren when they read about the destruction of this country that was presided over by you, both in leadership and in opposition. And to the people of this country, do not cheer evil in support of your tribesmen. Because when the plane crashes, it will not spare Kalenjin or a Luya. Remember, survivors are rare in a plane crash. It will not matter that you are a Kikuyu or a Pokomo. Do not cheer evil. When you come across your member of parliament, tell him without fear that his utterances, his decisions, his pronouncements could be destroying this country. Don't cheer him. Tell him the truth. Those like church leaders with access to the top leadership of this country and to top politicians, pick your phone and call them. I am speaking to Catholic bishops, Anglican bishops, mainstream church bishops, Reformed church bishops, evangelicals. I'm speaking to you imams and sheikhs. Those of you with access to the top leadership. This is the time for your voice to be heard. Let's not begin talking from the ruins of this country. Let's not die with the shame that while it was possible for us to advise our friends in leadership, we failed to do so. If you know a cabinet minister who is telling the police, shoot, hiyo gani sio fimbo ya kutembelea. If you know him, please, this is the time to tell him. That is what will bring this country down. Tell him. Don't wait until it is too late. If you know any political leader, right from the president to the rest, who think it is demonstrators who are looting and burning, share the videos with him and your interpretation of the videos. If you've been charged with the responsibility of managing the intelligence of this country, this is the time to speak and stand for country. Advise those you are supposed to advise that this is what there is in this country. This is where we are heading. And this is what we can all do, individually and collectively, to save this country. Don't wait until it is too late. Don't sit on your advice because you fear or respect somebody. Don't sit one day in a corner somewhere, crying and regretting that while you had the power to advise, you didn't advise. We are about to lose this country. This is a souvenir video. Keep it. And don't blame yourself. Don't die from regret, from guilt. Don't keep that voice locked somewhere. And if you are in leadership, remember, the holy books say, I give you my people to lead. Take good care of my people. So that even in heaven, when you appear in heaven, as you sure will, somewhere in heaven, the doors will be slammed on your face. And you shall be consigned wherever religion says you will be for doing the wrong things in this world. I speak for children in this country, born and unborn. We have enjoyed what Kenya has given us. We shouldn't stand in the way of our children and their children, in the way of our grandchildren, also enjoying this country by destroying it. So today, be mindful of what you say. Don't be bellicose. Don't think there's anything you can show anybody. And both sides, there is still hope. There is still room. That, like Saul in Damascus, you will become Paul. You will discover your role in either destroying or saving this country. Each of you from both sides, you must discover you must meet your Damascus moment. You must become Paul. You must know it is within your hands to save or destroy this country. Kenyans would love to see you people putting country first.